Brooklyn, New York, as 2K Sports brings you today's action live from the Barclays Center. We've got some terrific NBA action in store for you today. This is Kevin Harlan alongside Clark Kellogg and Steve Kerr. Take a look at the Spurs.
Well, they were a fashionable pick to be one of the NBA's top teams coming into this season, and that's exactly the way it's worked out. Maybe they've even been a little better than what we thought.
Steve, it's really been a stellar season for them. I mean, all that hype, I think, was justified, and I do not say that much. I think a lot of stuff is overhyped, not these guys. We've seen them win in a lot of different ways. They're a complete team.
So Ginobli sitting on the bench. Here's how the floor looks for Greg Popovich. Leonard and Duncan are the forwards. Tony Parker at the 1 and Danny Green at the 2. And it's Splitter in at the pivot spot, manning the middle. For the Nets, Johnson Wallace, the explosive set of wings. Brook Lopez is out there with Evans, and it's Williams at the 1. Manu Ginobli, he's checked in for San Antonio.
You know, when the Nets made the trade for Darren Williams a few seasons ago, Kevin, they were thought to have made a steal of a deal.
You're right.
But you look at the haul they gave up, and it was a pretty steep price to pay.
Here's Leonard. Darren Williams picking up that last basket. Ginobli attacking straight up. And it's slammed in by Splitter.
That was a nice, strong one-hand jam there.
Yeah, brought it back and ripped it down.
Yeah, that's how you do it. That's nice.
Going back to that trade you're talking about, Clark, several first-round picks and Favors, who has blossomed the last year or two up in Utah. Devin Harris was sent there as well. Not exactly cheap, Steve, but they had to give up a lot.
Well, gaining a superstar is never cheap, Kevin. And I thought the interesting thing about that trade was that New Jersey, now Brooklyn, of course, they didn't have any assurances from Darren Williams that he would re-sign. So it was really a major gamble at the time.
It's Williams with the drive. Here's Lopez. It's good. Great play by Williams to set it up. Lopez has got his first bucket of the night. And stolen by Darren Williams. Darren with no time at all on that one.
They're coming out strong, guys. That's 4 for 5 from the field.
Well, you know, NBA teams have always loved big, strong point guards, and Darren Williams is certainly that. 6'3", 210 pounds, and he's a physical presence at that one spot.
That's where you like to get shots, inside and close to the hoop.
So it looks like the Nets will retain possession here. Doris Burke has an update for us. Doris?
I had a chance to talk with the head coach for Brooklyn. With the amount of titles and rings the Spurs have racked up in their careers, Coach admitted it could be a little intimidating playing against them. He said Duncan is an instant Hall of Fame guy, and that can scare teams. We have to be fearless and play just like they are any other team, any other extremely talented team. Easier said than done, guys.
All right, Doris, thank you very much. That's good.
Well, that's what he does. He's going to fight and battle on the offensive glass all night.
The Nets have gotten 4 of 6 field goal attempts to drop in the first quarter. You're talking about Darren Williams, the classic big, strong point guard teams love, and he really uses that to his advantage. Steve, I can only imagine what it must be like to play in the backcourt with him.
Or to guard him. I mean, that would be difficult. He's so strong, he's so fast, and he's got that incredible crossover move. So once Williams gets you on the run, he's going to be able to fend you off with that strength, and then he's got that beautiful shooting stroke to score over the top.
Andre Blatch, he's checked in for San Antonio. Humphries comes in for Reggie Evans. Here's Parker. And the Spurs scoring again.
He is so good at working himself into the open spots on the floor inside that three-point line. Oh, I love watching Greg Popovich coach. He's such an amazing guy, has a great feel for his players. I was privileged to play for him for 4 years in San Antonio. And one thing about Pop, he cares about you as an individual. Beyond basketball, he genuinely cares about you and your family. And the players feel that. That's why they put down. You know, he's had his ups and downs in his career, but one thing about Darren Williams is that he consistently delivers in the fourth quarter. Just seems to have that knack for knocking down the big shot when you need it.
Yeah, and make no mistake about it, Steve. When you talk about Darren Williams, you're talking about a guy who can get it going earlier in the game, too. He makes clutch plays, no doubt, but he can put numbers up on you in a hurry. He can go for half a hungy on you if you're not careful. His ability to take over games is what makes him a natural leader on the floor, and a guy his teammates have a lot of respect for him.
Watson with it. He's picked up by Parker. There's a good screen. Johnson off a bit from Brooks. Johnson gets the bucket.
That's an old-fashioned finish there, guys. Going to the finger roll to get the easy two.
4 seconds separating the shot and game clocks.
Stupendous. I love that word. Save that one. The word and the jam. I want to see it again.
Just beautiful.
You can't top that. I love the alley-oop play. So much fun to watch.
Here is Watson, covered by Parker. Watson kicks to Brooks. And the layup is good.
Well, everyone seems to have the hot hand here early on.
You know, if they keep up this scoring pace, we'll definitely see some big point totals from both of these teams.
The scoring fast and furious as we end the first quarter. All right, the second quarter beginning in just a moment. And guys, what stands out to you from the Nets in this one?
Yeah, a good start for this club. I like the way they played together, really moved the ball and did a nice job offensively.
Yeah, excellent ball movement, and it's paid off on the scoreboard, too.
So with Duncan sitting on the bench, here's how the floor looks for Greg Popovich. Parker and Manu Ginobli, their backcourt. Blair's out there with Tracy McGrady, and it's Bonner in at the 5 down low.
Well defended, and he's not someone who responds well to that kind of defensive pressure.
Brook Lopez is checked in for Andre Black. And San Antonio also making a switch. Green's checked in.
There's never been any question about Darren Williams' ability to score. How about last season with the Nets when he had 57 in the game, including 21 consecutive free throws? That's a Nets franchise record for 57 points in one game. Amazing.
Lopez passes to Williams. Johnson outside. A 3. Rebound San Antonio. Blair's got his 3rd rebound tonight. Their last game a win against the Lakers, looking to carry it into this one.
Well, they benefited from some very loose play from their opponents that night, Clark.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, there were a lot of turnovers in that game. Some were caused by their good defensive play, but some were just careless.
Kawhi Leonard's checked in for Tracy McGrady. You talk about Williams as a scorer. He can give you those big nights, scoring, but of course also a tremendous playmaker.
Top 5 in assists pretty much his whole career, Kevin, and now with more help this season, I think he'll be able to lean more on his teammates and pile up even additional assists since he won't have to shoulder the scoring load as much.
Keith Bogan, he's checked in for Joe Johnson. The Spurs also with the sub. Splitters checked in.
Came off the screen and did what I call a right-now move, right to the rim. The defense had no time to recover.
The Nets making a switch here. Watson's checked in. And San Antonio with the change here, too. Tim Duncan, he's checked in for DeJuan Blair. Brooks with it. Leonard picks him up. Here's Lopez. Brooks goes up again. Here's Humphries. Missed it, even after all those chances. And it's Brook Lopez with the foul. That is his first foul of the game. Brooklyn making some changes. Evans comes in for Chris Humphries. And it's Wallace in for Marshawn Brooks. Manu Ginobli, he's checked in for the Spurs.
Wow, who is that guy? I didn't know he could elevate like that. I didn't know he had that in him.
I didn't either. You got to put some flames on the defense, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to put a body on him. You got to get position and put up some kind of a stand.
Andre Blatch, he's checked in for Brooklyn. Hogan's kicks to Watson. And a fast break now for the Spurs.
Oh, man, that was unreal.
Mark it up.
And again, the lead changes hands.
Yep, back and forth we go, Steve. I mean, back and forth, neither side caving in.
At the line for your Nets.
You know, sometimes teams don't age gracefully.
At the line for two.
And when your stars start to age, all of a sudden the team goes south. But the Spurs have managed to maintain a very high level of play, even with Ginobli and Duncan getting older.
The Nets making a switch here. Williams is checked in. The Spurs have gotten older, as you've said, Steve, but they've made the most of it. And I think, Clark, that adds to just how smart they are. They're high basketball IQ.
Without question, Kevin. And the big thing you see with them getting older is that the top guys get rested more. They're not playing as many minutes. And you saw quite a bit of that towards the end of last year.
Something has to change, guys. That's 10 straight points coming in the paint against this team.
Well, they got to collapse in there, and everybody's got to be conscious of it. It's a team effort in protecting the paint. Control the ball, and then everybody's got to get in there and keep the defense locked down.
It's going to be out of bounds. The Nets will retain possession. Arjon Brooks is checked in for Keith Bogans. San Antonio also making some changes. Blair comes in for Tim Duncan. And it's Green in for Manu Ginobli.
Well, that makes 5 of their last 6 makes coming from inside.
Yeah, really focused on getting the ball into the paint because they're taking advantage of very porous defense down there.
Outside, Green. Shot is off. So Brooklyn will take it the other way. Outplayed in the previous game on their schedule, losing to Chicago.
And Kevin, they would have had to be sensational defensively to compensate for their lack of offense in that game.
Yeah, and you know what, Steve? I don't think they're built to play those kind of low-scoring, grinded-out games. They weren't that time, at least.
Parker against Williams. Here's Leonard. Outside, Green. It's taken away by Wallace. With the lead pass. Here's Brooks. San Antonio with the rebound. Blair's got his 4th rebound in this one. Last time they met was in San Antonio. So it's both teams making substitutions here. And let's step back for a second to look at the top shooting point guards in basketball this season. Tony Parker on top.
Well, he's been even more accurate with his shooting than he's been with his passing. Just a terrific percentage from the field for him.
And those shots aren't all coming from 10 feet and in. I mean, he's taking legitimate shots. It might seem like it's because of his percentage that he's in close, but he's putting up those numbers from outside. It's not enough for the defense to just get into position. They've got to get in the way.
He took what they gave him and cashed in.
Yeah, he paid it off.
Yeah, in a big way. Superb finish.
And the Spurs making a change here. Duncan's checked in.
You know, his trademark shot is a three-pointer from the corner. That's what he's known for more than anything else, I'd say.
Yeah, he does spray home his share of triples from over there, Steve. He's not the only guy who likes it there, but he likes it more than most of us.
Teletovic gets the three-pointer to fall. And the Nets lead by 5.
That's a defensive let-up right there. I mean, they've got to close down on him quickly when he's in three-point range.
The Spurs have gone 1 for 1, making their previous attempt at the line.
And, guys, that's really an upgrade over how they shot last season. Not a huge upgrade, but an upgrade nonetheless.
We've got 28 seconds left now here in the second. Johnson outside. Fader on the way. And it's Johnson again missing.
A very rough quarter for him. Not much is falling right now. Ammonia strong finish right there, partner. You hear me? That was ammonia strong.
And Rick is down with 2 hands.
That's about as high percentage as you can get.
Humphries with it. Outside Williams. With 1 on the clock, he beats the buzzer with a fantastic shot.
Major judgment.
And a touchdown here as we end the first half. The Nets lead by 3. And we'll be back shortly for the start of the third quarter. But right now, it's time for the Sprint Halftime Show with Damon Bruce. Welcome back, everybody. The start of the second half getting underway. Both teams battling hard through the first half. It's been one outstanding game from Darren Williams.
Yeah, so far in this one, he's played a different role than normal. He's done a nice job as this team's playmaker here today.
And all of it's worked for the most part. I mean, he might not be known as a dime dropper, but after this game, he will be.
And now let's check out the lineups courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go for the second half of basketball. So for Brooklyn now, the duo inside, Chris Humphries and Brook Lopez. Darren Williams out there with Johnson. And it's Joseph in at the 3-second. They get it back. And Lopez throws it down.
Major glass eating that time, fella.
That's just the kind of aggressive basketball he's known for.
Yeah, it seems like we see that play from him almost every night. An offensive board that ends with a slam.
Kicks it out to Ginobili. Launches it. And here's Splitter, averaging 10 points per contest. It's Ginobili with the drive. That's good. Ginobili's got 8 points.
And guys, 10 of their last 12 points coming in the paint.
Yeah, I like their aggressiveness on offense, but the question is, where's the defense? They've got to put up some resistance here.
Williams dishes to Lopez. Second shot opportunity. Right side, Williams. And again, Brooklyn with the triple.
Boy, he's been so dependable here this game. Really playing well offensively.
With the move to Brooklyn now complete, you can look back at how the Nets fared in terms of playoff appearances during their time in New Jersey. They did a decent job of getting to the playoff while in New Jersey.
The finals a couple times. Reggie Evans, he's checked in for the Nets. Wallace comes in for Joseph. And San Antonio also making a switch. Parker's checked in. He dishes it to Duncan. There's the foul. It's on Reggie Evans. That is his first foul of the game. And it was hard, Steve, when the Nets were in the ABA. They won the 3 titles in 5 years, but the New Jersey version just didn't have that same success.
Well, the best years for the Nets were probably when Jason Kidd was running the show back 2 years ago. They made the finals in consecutive years. But now it's a chance to start new in Brooklyn, start something special. And they're going to bank on this new venue, new location that could try to jumpstart their franchise.
Kawhi Leonard is checked in for San Antonio. Johnson against Ginobili. And the call will be against Gerald Wallace. That'll be his second foul of the game. Here's Duncan. Up and in on the layup. Duncan's got 8 points.
Boy, they are really getting chewed up inside here. I mean, that's 8 of the last 10 points they've given up inside, in the paint.
Yeah, and the paint should be sacred ground for a defense. I mean, you can't let anybody just trot in there and get an easy bucket.
Watch the pass to Evans. Marked down low that time, and he got the 3-second.
Let's take a moment now, Kevin, to see how the Spurs are doing in the NBA statisticals currently. First in assists, second in field goal percentage. And they're the third-ranked team in free throw percentage. A number of players on that team are very comfortable and capable at the foul line.
And the one thing that really jumps out at me when you talk about all these stats is the assists. And this is a team that is very unselfish. They're sharing the ball, they're moving, they're really getting a good flow to their offense. And as a result, they're finding pretty high percentage shots almost every possession.
Spurs trail by 5.
Well, we all know about Tim Duncan's abilities as a player. Post-scoring, passing, the defensive abilities. But I think one of his best traits has been the quiet leadership that he's provided for this Spurs team over the years.
Risky pass there. They're lucky to retain possession this time.
And some changes here for the Spurs. Matt Manu, he's checked in for Splitter. And it's Blair in for Tim Duncan. Steve, going back to Duncan, you're talking about him and that leadership and what it's meant for that franchise, for that Spurs team. Such a big part of their success.
Well, he plays the game unselfishly. He is a terrific star, a Hall of Fame player who doesn't see himself in that light. He produces, he leads his team, he's coachable, and he's come up big in big moments. He's done everything you could ask of a franchise player.
Brook Lopez is checked in for Brooklyn. And Leonard gets it to go.
Not much resistance for him after that pick, Kevin. I mean, he had all sorts of space to hit the shot.
Wallace goes in. And again, no good by Brooklyn. And it's Brook Lopez with the foul. That'll be his second foul of the game. The Nets making a switch here. Watson's checked in. Oh, look out!
Called it game time and bang time.
Unbelievable.
You gotta just shake your head on that one. I thought he'd make that one. That's his range, and the defense nowhere to be seen. Well, you know, the Spurs have been thinking about what's beyond the Tim Duncan era in the future. But Duncan keeps on ticking, and he just keeps playing at a very high level. And as long as he does that, San Antonio will be tough to beat.
And going back to Tim Duncan in San Antonio, Clark, even if he isn't putting up great numbers, he really does seem to drive the team just through his power and his will.
Well, there's something about presence, and that's really what a superstar player like Duncan can do for you, Kevin. Even if he plays into his 40s, I just can't imagine the Spurs not being competitive with him on their roster.
I agree. The Spurs have been perfect so far from the free throw line, 6 for 6.
Guys, that says a lot about the poise of this team. I mean, they've been so calm, cool, and consistent at the stripe this year. I mean, that's impressive.
Well, I love the fact that he's fighting hard on the boards, but you got to be smart too. Over the back, that's an easy call there.
Well, that's simply the result of poor position under the glass. But at least you can't fault him for being passive. He was trying to be aggressive there.
He misses the free throw.
And this really is such an interesting time for the Nets because the move to Brooklyn, I think, has elevated the image of that franchise. You know, they used to be the little brothers to the Knicks and playing across the river in New Jersey. Now they basically are sharing the spotlight in the Big Apple, and it's going to be a lot of fun to watch.
As the Spurs gain possession. And now let's check out the standings in the Eastern Conference and see how the playoff race is shaping up. Taking a look at Miami. And, of course, the Spurs tied right now. Jaron Williams checked in for the Nets. Yeah, Nets are now in one of the premier locations, Steve, for any sports franchise, even if it was a short move. And I think, Clark, with that move, the whole mindset has seemingly changed.
Well, you can certainly call them a big market team now, and a lot of free agents will probably be interested in signing there. So definitely they've got a working advantage in their favor now.
The Spurs have been good at the free throw line. This one, 7 of 8.
Well, how about the numbers for this club? As a team, 79% from the free throw line this year.
And they've made progress in that department from last season going into this one, guys. I mean, the numbers have improved.
Tim Duncan was checked in for the Spurs. Ginobli comes in for Daniel Green. 6 seconds separating the shot and game clock. No problem knocking that one down. 8 points for him.
They're running a little bit of time off. Looks like they're going to play for the final shot.
Steve, you're right. If nothing presents itself, hold for one.
Parker outside. Kicks to Leonard. From downtown. And he beat the buzzer. But it's no good. And as we finish the third quarter, it's still close. Both teams trading baskets. It's the Spurs. They lead by a bucket. We're going to step aside for just a second, but join us right back here for the start of the fourth quarter next. So with Duncan sitting on the bench, here's how the floor looks for Greg Popovich. And the 2 and 3, Manu and Leonard. Blair is out there with Matt Bonner. And it's Parker in at the point. Into Blair. And stolen by Darren Williams. Bogans. Here's Teletovic. Not wasting any time and taking the shot and knocking it down. And that ties it up.
It was really hard to defend when you're trying to recover from turning the ball over.
Yeah, that's because you can't get back in transition. The offense can just come down and get an easy look on you.
Williams' shot is off.
I'd rather see him just pull straight up. He went for that leaner and he seemed to be off balance.
Ginobili with the finish.
Yeah, and he's been a player who always saves his best for last, Kevin. Absolutely thrives under pressure. And, you know, when some guys back down with the game coming down to the wire, he seems to be the one to take it up a notch.
You know, you talk about grit and determination. That's his M.O. That's his DNA. No doubt about it. He's a tough hombre.
Now a timeout call by Brooklyn. Andre Black, he's checked in for Brooklyn. Watson comes in for Jaron Williams. And San Antonio with the change here, too. Tracy McGrady's checked in for Tony Parker. Let's go quickly over to Doris Burke for an update.
I was able to listen in on what the Nets coach was going over with his team. With the deficit as we approach the final buzzer, he stayed upbeat, saying, listen, we can battle back, fellas. Just stay with me. I need all-out effort here, and we can bring it home. Fellas?
Brooke Lopez is checked in for Andre Black. Watson kicks to Humphries. Dumps it down.
The defense just couldn't recover in time.
Yeah, but he pretty much went brain neutral on that one, Clark. Wouldn't
Yes,
you?
sir. I like that phrase.
Yeah, I don't use that phrase very often, but to me, that's what happened. He shifted the brain into neutral.
That was embarrassing.
Here's Johnson.
Come on, your Nets.
And Joe Johnson now in his 12th season out of Arkansas. One of the best swingmen in basketball. And of course, he's one of the highest paid players in the league. So I think fans sometimes expect more out of him. But he's still a very solid player.
Looking at who's out there now for the Nets. Reggie Evans, he's checked in for Humphries. Jaron Williams is subbed in for C.J. Watson. To the inside, Williams. And that is good. They got on this for a while ago, and they just haven't advanced.
What a great game. This looks like it's going to go right down to the wire.
Well, you talk about what happens in close games. Mistakes are magnified. Both teams have to be very careful down the stretch here.
Daniel Green, he's checked in for Manu Ginobili. Green kicks to Blair. Oh, the one-hand jam.
And the shootout continues.
Trading buckets both ways. I mean, offense definitely the focal point for these teams.
And for players with the big contracts, there's always that added pressure, you know, guys, to live up to it. And Clark, that's a tough thing to do sometimes.
Yeah, you said a mouthful there, Kevin. It's so true. Sometimes guys strike the contract lottery and end up being pressured to live up to that. And in Joe Johnson's case, for some fans, it feels as though he's not been a franchise type player. But for my money, he's as good a player as there is at creating his own shot, handling his business, and being a guy who can perform in the clutch. I think he's outstanding all-around basketball, especially at the offensive end.
Johnson with a screen on Blair. Johnson sets a screen through him. Hangs in midair and converts on the double clutch layup.
Carving them up inside there, Kevin. I mean, the defense has been vulnerable in there.
Yeah, that's 3 straight field goals in the paint area. That's really good offense.
That's good.
They are in attack mode right now. That's 10 straight points, guys, all coming inside the paint.
And see, if I'm him, I'd keep going right to the heart of that defense like they have been until they do something about it. If they don't offer resistance, take everything you can get in there.
I'll take a look now for San Antonio. Duncan comes in for DeJuan Blair. Sets Ginobili in for Daniel Green.
Look at the big man there. He knows how to go up and get that rebound.
It's Brooke Lopez with the foul. And that'll be his 3rd foul so far. Ginobili. Good. And it's McGrady who picks up the assist. That's 12 points for Ginobili.
I saw just a little bit of daylight right to the rim.
Williams gets a screen from Lopez. Lopez sets a screen for Williams. 6 to shoot. Over Leonard. And the Nets miss again.
Well, you know what? You really expect him to knock that jumper down when he gets a good look like that.
Ginobili for 2. Yes!
So hard to stop Ginobili right now.
56 seconds left in the 4th quarter. Williams against McGrady. Williams dishes to Lopez. Buries it. And tie game. That is a huge basket right there.
Boy, coming through with the game to be denied that time, guys. Fought his way to the glass and came up with the points.
And the call will be against Aaron Williams. So that will be his second foul of the game. We're in the bonus. He'll go to the line to shoot two. That's the first. That gives him the lead. Tracy McGrady's checked in for Tony Parker. Second one is good. And both at the line. And it's a two-point ball game.
Cold-blooded trip to the line there. They're just one stop away from winning this thing.
Oh, man. That shot eliciting a roar from this gigantic crowd.
That was huge, guys. Absolutely huge.
Here's Ginobli. And the foul called on Joe Johnson. That's his third foul so far. From a situation in the Texas heading to free throw line for two. He sinks the clutch free throw. The Nets making the switch here. So he gets them both, and it's a two-point ball game. Timeout called the Nets. They trail by two. Just 2 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. Guys, your thoughts?
With this much time left on the clock, I try to shoot from as close to the basket as possible because that way you have enough time for a quick walk back if you miss.
And so it's San Antonio who straight line with the win. Clark, it was everybody's game right to the very end.
There was. The coaches happy with the outcome, but maybe not so much with the margin.
Thanks for tuning in to the NBA on 2K Sports. For Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and Doris Burke, this is Kevin Harlan. We'll see you next time. And now, our Jordan Player of the Game, Manu Ginobli.